one of the transportation options that people are relying on more and more is bicycling. And depending on how you bicycle and where you want to go and how often, there's many options out there. We're here at Kingsbury Cyclery with Paul Kingsbury and a customer, Mary Lynn, and we're going to talk about some of those options. So Paul, when people come in, is that typically what they do? They tell you what they're interested in doing?
Right. The first thing we do is ask them where they're going to ride and how they're going to ride and maybe who they're going to ride with. But how you're going to use the bike really determines what kind of bike you need.
And Mary Lynn, you're our customer today, and I guess there's 2 or 3 options floating around in your head, but we're going to show some bikes that would be appropriate for you to use.
Right. Well, obviously I can't afford 3 bikes, so I'd like to get a multifunctional bike.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to get out of the picture here and let the customer go along. And Paul, come on over here, and you can talk about the first bicycle that we're looking at right here.
Well, first we want to know what do you want to do with the bike?
Well, first of all, I'd like to be able to just ride around in my neighborhood and maybe hit a dirt trail now and again.
Okay. So mostly paved, some prepared trail, not right. Mountain bike trails, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the most popular use for bikes these days. And there are a bunch of choices, really, but you could start with a road bike like this, which is the fastest and most efficient bike. When they fit properly, it can be a very comfortable bike as well. These are for just paved surfaces, a traditional road bike. So you could ride around your neighborhood, or you could ride on streets and hillsides and stuff like that. You wouldn't take this bike on a trail like Catherine Valley Trail or something like that.
Well, I noticed there's no tread on there, so...
Right. Well, the contact patch of the tire with the ground is really small, and there's a lot of pressure right on that point, and so they stick really great. I mean, you don't need on a paved surface, you don't need tread.
Mm-hmm. So. I know Mary Lynn's planning to ride in Maine with her daughter down the road. That would be a bike that would be considered for that.
Yeah, if you're going to do long road rides, multi-day tours on road, a bike like this is probably what you will see there mostly, depending on the distance and the terrain.
Right. I actually have a shoulder issue. Are any of these road bikes, can you get them more handlebars up?
Yep. Well, even though it looks like you would be leaning very far forward on a road bike, you're not actually. You do, on any bike, you're going to lean forward a little bit, and it helps to balance your weight on the wheels and also, on your hands in the seat. But yeah, road bikes, they come different styles, so handlebars can be higher or lower depending on how you're going to use the bike.
Well, that kind of covers that one with no tread and those skinny tires, but we move now to Plan B, and this is another option, and Paul, what would be the most common use for this one?
This one is called a hybrid bike, and it's a cross between a road bike and a mountain bike, and the tires get a little bit bigger and a little bit wider than on the traditional road bike, but they're still a big diameter, and they're intended for paved surfaces and crushed limestone trails like Catherine Valley Trail or something like that. You wouldn't go mountain biking with a bike like this, but you could ride on unpaved surfaces. Also, the handlebar's a little bit higher, the seat's a little bit wider, it's a little softer, so it's a little bit more comfortable ride position. You are sitting up a little bit more.
Yeah, this really looks nice. I like this one.
Yeah. The trade-off is also in efficiency, which a lot of people don't really care about unless they're racing. But the road bike's the most efficient because of your body position, and the bike's light and the wheels are small and fast. But as you sit more upright, you're pushing through the air a little bit more. But it's a much more comfortable ride, and if you're not really worried about going super fast, it doesn't make any difference.
Well, that covers that one. That's kind of a multi-purpose, as Paul said. And we go into the option C, and that's a purple beauty.
Well, this one is quite a bit different than the others. It has a much larger tire so that it rolls on any surface. You could go on, a dirt road or a crushed limestone trail or a paved surface. The handlebars are quite high. It's got a much larger seat, so you are sitting not quite straight up, but pretty close. Also, this one, it's called a foot-forward design, where the pedals are a little more ahead of a traditional location. So it allows the seat to be lower to the ground and still have good leg extension. But then having the seat lower to the ground makes it so when you stop, you can get your feet down pretty firmly, which, yeah, a lot of people like that.
I would think people like me who've had knee replacements, that would be a more comfortable position than that upright.
Well, the pedal position, while you're riding it, you don't really notice it too much different there. It's mostly getting on and off. It's just a whole lot easier. So this would be the most comfortable bike. It wouldn't be a great bike for riding a long distance, though, unless you didn't care how long it took you.
How about on the beach, like a hard-packed beach? Would this be a good bike for that?
You could ride this on a hardpack beach. Yeah, if it's hardpack, you could.
Yeah.
Right. The beaches are tough on bikes because the sand and the salt. Yeah, salt and sand are not a bike's friend.
I love the seat. It looks very comfortable.
Yeah, they are. They're a lot of fun to ride. We do ice cream rides in the summer, and every once in a while I grab one of these or something similar, and I ride that, and it's just straight up fun.
So the bottom line here is there are numerous bicycle options out there. Go to a place like Kingsbury Cycle, talk to an expert, tell them how you're thinking of using it and where you're thinking of using it and how often, and they'll match you up with what would be the best option. So this is part of our Getting There series, and get out there and ride the trails, ride the streets, and just have fun. This Getting There video was sponsored by Buckley's Automotive. From regular maintenance to major repairs, Buckley's takes care of your personal or commercial vehicle. They provide a wide variety of bumper-to-bumper services for both foreign and domestic vehicles, specializing in transmission work, wheel alignments, and diagnostics. Stop in at 2048 Grand Central Avenue in Horseheads or call them at 607-733-8425.